and welcome to Stampin' Jo TV. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to do this quick and easy card using two of our retiring stamp sets. So let's get started. The first thing I wanted to show you is this Natural Composition Designer Series paper. Now this paper comes in a variety of different patterns, but I was amazed when I used it at how thick it is. Most of our designer paper is actually kind of like a paper, whereas this one is more like a cardstock, and it has this shiny, beautiful image, which is actually textured. So this is the one I picked for this card. On the inside, it kind of looks like craft. And then on the outside, it has this pattern. So I've cut it to 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going to score and fold using my bone folder. Oh, it's so pretty. I love the shine of this. Now you want to be careful because it does have almost kind of like a little covering on it. So you don't want to wreck it with your bone folder. So don't go back and forth too much. Just kind of press it down, then use your fingers. Next, I'm using Whisper White cardstock cut to 4.25 by 4.25. Now, I just cut it a slight little bit less than 4.25 on one of the sides, just so that it's actually smaller than the card size. And I'm going to use my Crumb Cake ink pad with my stamp from Forever Young, which is actually one of our retiring stamp sets, and it's this one here. I love it. It's really pretty. It's got this little girl on the swing over here, and then a few other stamps. If you have not looked at our retiring stamps or retiring accessories, you want to make sure to look at that, because you only have till the end of the month to get the things that you love, and there are some fabulous things on there. So we're going to take this image and put it kind of snug to the left hand side like that. Give it nice even pressure and back up. Next, I'm going to take a stamp from my Wordplay stamp set. Now this is just some of the greetings that come out of this. Again, another retiring one. And we're going to use this one, Go Confidently, I can't even say the word, Go Confidently in the Direction of Your Dreams. And we're going to use 3 different colors of markers, Wild Wasabi, More Mustard, and Cherry Cobbler, to color directly onto our stamp. And I liked that. It actually really, the greeting really went well with that stamp I found. So I'm going to use the Cherry Cobbler first, and I'm going to color a couple of the words. And you want to make sure to use that brush tip on its edge so that you don't wreck your nice point of your marker. So the arrow I'm going to do in the More Mustard, and then the rest of the stamp I'm going to do in the Wild Wasabi. So once you're done coloring it all, you want to huff on it just so that it re-moistens that ink and gets you a nice dark image on your cardstock. And then I want to stamp it kind of off to the bottom right. And again, give it nice even pressure. Oh, isn't that pretty how all those colors go together? I've cut a piece of More Mustard to 3/4 of an inch by 3. And I'm going to use just my paper snips to do kind of a fishtail or a dovetail, whatever you want to call it, edge. So we're just going to go kind of to the middle. And then you can also use a square punch to do this. But for this one, it's easy, so I'll just do it that way. So I'm going to take my snail adhesive and glue that to the edge, like that. And then I've cut another piece of cardstock, Wild Wasabi, to 2 inches by 4.25, which is supposed to be the same length as this. And I'm going to use my scallop edge punch. When you use these edging punches, you want to kind of center it first, and then use your guide and match up your existing scallops to that guide and do both sides. And that's how you're going to get it nice and perfect. Once you have it done, we're going to take again some snail adhesive. And what I normally do is I place my cardstock directly on top so I can see that it's centered. Now this one isn't exactly the same length, so I'm going to use my trimmer just to trim that edge. Okay, so I've come back from trimming my edges and they look so pretty. That's why it's good to have your cutters around. And I'm going to place that on top of here using some of our dimensionals just to add a little bit of height to our card. So I'm going to use 4 of those. And take our backings off. Now you know if you have a hard time getting these backings off, just take the tip of your nail and push in the middle and all the edges are going to come straight up. So we're going to place that off to the side, kind of like that. And we're going to take our vintage faceted buttons, and I want one of the larger ones with my Early Espresso baker's twine, that's what it's called, and we want about 10 inches of that, so maybe about there. And I'm going to loop that through the bottom on both sides. I think the hardest part was getting that right through the button. Okay, so now that I have the two sides in, I'm actually going to take some of our glue dots and glue it to my card before I tie my knot and then a bow. So just press directly onto your glue dots. I find it's the easiest way because that way they don't stick to my fingers. Do you ever get glue dots all over your fingers? I know I do. All right, we're going to place that so that our two holes are kind of going this way. And now we're going to tie a knot and then do our bow. Once the bow is done, I'm going to take back my scissors and just trim those edges just a little bit of my ribbon. About there. And there you go. Easy peasy. Isn't that pretty? So make sure you check out the list of retiring stamp sets, and thank you for watching, and I will see you back soon.